Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. So in this reading, I'm recognizing that there may have been a church or a group, some type of organization, maybe that you were a part of at one point in time, a member, something. Nonetheless, I see that this group had an opinion about you, and they had an opinion about your life. And it's coming through as a chaotic life is the result of chaotic choices. And so if you were a part of, it says church in my reading, it's a part of one of my homemade decks. It says church in the reading, but if you are a part of any type of organization, any supportive type of group or network, right? Let's just talk real quick. What is the role of the church? Love God, love your neighbor, love the church, right? A church is supposed to be a place for public worship. Now, you could have been judged in a space where you were to be loved. In the event that your life had gone through periods of chaos and you opened up or you shared something with people, about the things that you were going through, it seems like you were judged as being indecisive or living in constant affliction, right? It seems like people kind of said, well, you're going through it because you are it, right? You're going through mess because you're a mess. You're going, and so this was something that you may have had to deal with at some point in time. An entity that you once were a member of, when you started to go through struggles in life, they misjudged you or misunderstood you or seemed to almost welcome the struggles as payment for the type of person that you were. Okay. Now, the reason why this is a little off-putting is you are in the energy of being totally in love with whatever this group or entity was that you were affiliated with. This is something that gave you pleasure. It made you happy. It influenced you. Emotionally, you were connected to this. May have been a church, right? And in many ways, your blessing was not coming from the entity that you loved so much, right? And the reason why you didn't get blessings when you were attached to this organization is because they misunderstood the struggles that you were going through in your own life. They seemed to think that it was just or it was warranted because of something that you had done. Now here comes the change in the reading. Taurus season. Taurus is an earth sign and Taurus is a fixed sign. Taurus is about sustaining stability, right? If you are a Taurus, or we're just talking about that house in our astrological charts, the energy of Taurus, it's about the material world. It's about being rooted and grounded. It's wanting to be comfortable and beautiful. It's just wanting to have everything you need in order to kind of experience a life of luxury. Taurus season is April 21st through May 20th. And so I am seeing that during Taurus season, something about your stability shifted, meaning you started to move towards sustaining your stability. So the energy I talked about that is connected to Taurus, this is the energy that started to make itself known to you. Now, this could have happened in April or May, but whatever, it happened. And so imagine being judged for a messy life or a chaotic life. But then at some point, your life starts to shift and change. And those that judged you are going to start to see this. Now, any of the chaos that you went through, it was a part of it was a part of life. It wasn't anything that, it wasn't like you had done something wrong. For just a moment, I'm getting the energy of Job. If you can remember when Job was going through it, and his friends, that were supposed to be there to comfort him was kind of like, dude, what did you do? Like, you had to do something because this is ridiculous, right? Like, that is kind of what was going on with you. So you could have had a Job season or a Job moment, and everybody thought that it was because of what you had done. However, the fact that you made it through that season and you made it through that, nobody expected you to develop. Nobody expected you to gain anything from this experience. So if this was a rock bottom type moment, they wanted you to stay at rock bottom because they enjoyed knowing that this is where you were. And it also gave them some peace to think that you actually deserve to be in this space, right? But when you came out of this space, immediately it became evident that you had learned something, that you had lived through something, you had developed something. And so you were actually in a training program that the Most High had put you in, and people judged you as just being a chaotic mess, right? And so you are going to appear to have done something impossible, but it wasn't impossible. That was just a matter of opinion of those that were speaking on you, right? You could have been lacking self-esteem, not loving self, not believing self. But this training, this development, this experience, and this growth, it gave you the ability to be confident, to be self-assured, not hesitating. Danger is going to come, but when danger comes, all of a sudden now you're not afraid of it because you've been through it enough. And so that's what people don't understand about chaos. Right? No, it's not pretty. No, it doesn't feel good. And sometimes when people are watching you go through it, I mean, one, they enjoy it because it's not them, right? And if they ever had a seed of envy or jealousy, or, you know, if they really weren't a true fan of you when you're going through some shit, like you'll know who was there for you. And so you were never supposed to get out of this space. You were always supposed to just be the one that was stuck in crap. But you did the impossible. You got out of danger by facing danger, by believing in yourself, by knowing that you were worthy of having more, worthy of experiencing more. And so wealth and prosperity are not foreign or far off from you because you are gaining stability. So you could have had financial issues. You could have had financial issues, or people could have just seen your world or your environment going through some type of restructuring. But when that happens, you are being asked to materially detach. Right? When things are taken away from us, when we're going through shifts and change, those are all lessons of detachment. God is saying you're holding on too tight, let go, let go. You're holding on too tight. Whatever you think this thing or this person or this job was, whatever you think it was doing for you, maybe you were a little delusional. So kind of release it, let go, because we need you to get a different type of vision. We need your perspective to shift. You in this process of development, you developed a strong sense of holiness. So your ability to connect to earth and to the spirit world. Listen, getting dragged multiple times in life is a beautiful way to get you to open up to another aspect of existence, right? When this world lets you know it doesn't want you here, it becomes easy to find the world that you really belong to. In this reading, you are coming up as a curse breaker or a light being. Now, there's already an energy that you carry that says that you are a light one. You already have that energy, and people can read it, they can feel it, and they can sense it. And so if you are a light one going through struggles, of course people are going to celebrate that, right? Because you got all that good energy. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you weren't as good as you thought you were, or I knew something was off, or they, and so now here we go, right? You finally got this stability. You got your footing. You did the impossible. You believed in yourself. You detached from the things that weren't holy. You detached from the things that had nothing to do with your true spiritual nature. And then you start to develop, you start to grow into who you are. You start to recognize your own beauty. You start to love on yourself, right? Well, as you start to grow into who you are, people begin protesting you, right? They start to draw attention because, first of all, you are supposed to be a chaotic being. You are supposed to be a mess. Although you are a light being, this is the narrative that has been attached to you, possibly by this group. And so for you to learn a lesson, for all of that chaos to not really have happened to you because you deserved it, but because you just needed the development, right? Now this is what is going to start to be revealed about you. And so for quite a while, people were pretty comfortable and content thinking that you were less than, thinking that, life was never going to amount to anything. And so people were able to protest you while you were developing. But after you get out of your season of training and development, you are supposed to step into success, because that is what is destined. Life is supposed to be generous for a curse breaker or a light being. We come here on a challenge. We come here to accomplish a mission, and it seems like life is robbing us every step of the way. And for a period of time, it will feel that way, because we need that training. We need that resistance in order to push through the chaos that we experience. But then there's that moment where things start to change. The tomorrow starts to look better, right? As a divine being, you possess an intelligence that is above average. It is above average. One aspect of your intelligence is your innocence. Meaning that you can go through chaos and you don't become bitter. You don't become spiteful. You still look to the next day as a day that can bring you joy and hope and possibility. And so your divinity almost acts as a buffer to protect you when times are really harsh. There are going to be dark times and there are going to be light times. And it is your innocence, it is your intelligence that allows you to get through every moment, even when those you loved or those that you were connected to or those that you thought were supporting your growth, right? Nobody wants to see you grow and develop into the curse breaker that you are meant to become. Nobody. And before you really put on your curse breaker uniform, you are going to be looking very much like the curse. And I feel people got comfortable with you looking like the curse. They misunderstood or they misread. They didn't read the details, right? But the details weren't for them. This was your assignment. This was your mission. And they were allowed to watch it, but they didn't even know that they were a part of it. Now, the judgment that you made along the way, the judgment that you made while you were going through the chaotic moments, the judgment was correct. So imagine at the end of this, there's a judge, and the judge says, well, curse breaker, light being, we've heard everything that you've been through. We've looked at the details of the trial. And after looking at all the evidence of the things that have taken place and the chaos that was endured, we have determined that you will receive some type of benefit. Prosperity is yours. Pleasure is yours, right? You have access to pleasure. Things that you didn't have before, light being, curse breaker, you have it now. Y'all, they are furious. Anybody that protested against you when you were going through your seasons of growth and training and development, anybody that protested against you is so upset. They are offended. They are mad now because you have revealed who you are, a judge. Right? They thought you were being judged. But the reality is that you were just walking through what those trials feel like for the people that you are going to have to lead, assist, or help. You just had to get in the trenches to understand what the trenches felt like. You had to experience them. And when you were in those trenches, you were actually making the right decisions. You weren't in them because you had poor judgment. It was the opposite. You were in them because you needed to develop good judgment in harsh environments. And that was the training that the Most High gave you. And it was in that training that you made the correct judgment. You had the right choices, right? Your heart was pure. And these people are upset because now that you have entered into this Taurus type of energy of stability, right? And so if you went through a period of lack, or if life wasn't comfortable for you, if life wasn't pleasurable, if it didn't seem luxurious, right? This is what people liked to know, that you had no luxury. Well, now here comes the shift. And the judgment is coming in your favor because of how you responded during your struggles. And I don't even think that you defended yourself or you fought back to go against anything that was said or done against you. I kind of think you just put your head down and just kept going. We have the energy of the sacral chakra. Now, our sacral chakra is about our sexuality. You birthed something. You brought something into creation. And it was only because you had the courage to do so. You didn't have the support. You didn't have the belief from others, No, you didn't have that. This was something that you had to do alone. This was an individual mission. You have just completed a training program, right? And some people are pissed that you have done this. They are pissed that you had the correct judgment, because when they were protesting you and speaking against you, they were talking about how chaotic you were. How everything you touch just seems to crumble. How you're not able to build anything or keep anything or maintain or establish. And so this is about a light being or a curse breaker that learned how to use their own emotions and their own pleasure centers to develop judgment. Sometimes when you're going through trials, your emotions are all over the place and they don't always help you make the best choice. But your training program was to get your heart and your mind to operate together as one, in alignment, in tandem, especially when life is harsh, especially when it seems like the road is dark and scary, sometimes fearful, it's unknown. And so to the light breaker or the curse, to the light breaker? No, we don't break light. To the light being or curse breaker that dealt with rejection or ridicule or gossip or judgment unfairly, those people, if they haven't yet seen the glory of your journey, they will soon see it. So those that have protested you, those that didn't see that you were a blessing, are going to realize that you reached fulfillment. Your well-being is intact. The enlightenment that this journey or this training and development was supposed to bring to you, it brought to you. So these people just watched you go through a challenge, and they didn't understand that God was using you to reveal something to them about themselves. And they're more mad at you for getting it right than they are at themselves for getting you wrong. I love you, and I hope that this reading was beneficial. I will see you on the next one. Take care.